to the Radnor Township Historic and Architectural Review Board meeting for June 5th, 2019. And we'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, before we get to our three cases this evening, I just want to go over two basic ground rules that we follow. One is that we are only interested on what is in the public view from the street, number one. Number two, we're not interested in any interior views or pictures. With that being said, new business, Harb case 2019-06, 210 Windermere Avenue, a new detached garage.
Hi. Oh, this is on. Yeah, it's fine for me. It's up to you. So yeah, we want to build a three-car detached garage in the flavor of the building. I don't know how far down that road you want me to go with that, because the first thing that you just said was how much of it's visible by the street. And I took a picture from, I think it's in the packet there, of the center of the driveway looking up the driveway, and my car is parked.
Do you have your plans with you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Could you put them on the table? Because this is being televised.
Okay.
So there might be other folks besides us who are also viewing today too.
Sure. Okay, this is the... You mean the plot plan you want to see?
Hold on for 1 second. I think someone from the township, to make that larger, there you go.
Thank you. So here's the, you want to continue? Okay. Here's the driveway right here, and here's the house. Property's kind of pie-shaped, like this. So with the 10-foot setback that's required on the side yard, the driveway, just to give you a point of reference, the driveway itself is 10 feet wide. So I'm going to be 10 feet, and the house begins literally like 1.5 foot off of the driveway. So at most, you're going to see maybe a corner of the garage, the rest of it. But at the end of the day, it's important to me that this, I restore old cars, and I'm into authenticity and things being period correct and all of that stuff. So this is built in the flavor of what would have been built in 1890 when the house was built. This type of construction. The siding's going to match, the windows are going to match the house, the gutters are going to be the same, the roof shingles are going to be identical in color and spec to what's on the current home right now. But at the end of the day, you're not going to see it from the street. But I have to see it, so I'm going to make it look like the house.
Yeah, when I saw this house from street level, just walking by, and you just have that one sliver
Of a driveway.
that's there. Yeah, it's so.
Yeah, so
I
the
agree
house
with
is
you.
gonna obstruct the view of the garage, except for, and there should be a picture in that pack of the look. Yeah. Now, actually, in that picture, and I can't see it, is my car parked where the garage would be. And I have a truck, so it's there.
Is there a garage there now that you're
No.
tearing down? Okay. So you're basically plonking this in the middle of your backyard?
Yes,
Okay.
literally. Yeah.
Could you show me where in this photograph is the property line?
The property line?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have that picture on me. I don't have that.
That's all right.
electronically.
You
Is it
can
okay
use
if I
this
come up?
one. Because 10 feet is 10 feet, you have to do it under. Sorry.
That's it.
10 feet is 10 feet from the property line,
From the
and I would
property
just
line.
like to see how far away from the okay, so the pole is,
But as I said, the property's pie-shaped, so 10 feet here at the street isn't 10 feet in the backyard. I mean, the same 10 feet. In other words, you don't have this delta right here in the backyard,
okay. All right.
because it's shaped like that, which struck me as fun, because I didn't know it was shaped like that in a lot of places.
Could you go into a little bit more detail of the types of features, again, that you're going to have for your garage?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to.
One thing that stands out when I've seen this property from street level is the predominance of the shingles on the house. Are you going to use that element too?
We're going to use, well, the back of the house, at some point, an addition was put on, and it was done in board and batten, so it's going to be done in board and batten to match that, because that's the closest part that's going to be near the house, okay, is this addition. It's off the back here, right here, because the garage will be right here. Windows will be the same, grid over nothing. The gutters are going to be half round, just like this, even though they're horribly inefficient, they're going to still be on there. I'm actually going to go with, if you notice, this house has exposed rafter tails. I'm having exposed rafter tails on the garage to match the exposed rafter tails on the house. And the garage doors will be vintage style, garage doors. This is a representation of what it would look like. Exception being, it would have a shingle roof to match the existing house, not a metal roof. I don't want that roof. I want a shingle roof to match the existing house.
When you talked about doing this in the quote flavor of the original mansion, I'm not saying anything that's in the flavor of the original mansion, or the original house, I should say. By the standard even of the day, they were probably mansions. But if the garage were done in shingle, not just the roof, actually the roof is probably safer with the metal roof, but aside from that, it seems to me that done in the flavor, as you put it, of the house would be a shingle style siding and not board and batten, which can turn out quite dreadfully.
Why do you say that? I'm curious. I mean, just because it
It
doesn't.
doesn't look anything like the house. It's not done in the flavor of the house, is my point.
Well, we can't see it.
And, well, as far as the type of house that this is, according to Radnor Historical Society records, 210 Windermere is a House A design. So it's not like a period design of a house. It was House A from the builders and the architects at the time from, I'm assuming, a pattern book.
Yeah, there's several houses in the neighborhood. It seems like it was like, I don't know, I don't think the word catalog house is an appropriate term, but there are houses that look the same, peppered throughout the area. Actually, 3 doors up, I think, is the identical house, but opposite.
Well, there are definitely houses in the neighborhood that are the same. Do you have any similarities as far as the garage?
I'm sorry,
Do you have
can you-
any- Do you have any similar garages?
Well, no, I actually went through the neighborhood, and just not to be rude or anything, but frankly, all the rest of the garages that I saw in the neighborhood on my side of the street are pretty horrid. Some of them are asbestos shingles, some of them are concrete block. and those were clearly not period correct.
They did some pretty dreadful things before we had an architectural review board, because when I moved here 50 years ago, Victorian couldn't be torn down fast enough.
Really? They were considered.
It was
ghettos
the
back then.
absolute nadir of Victorian architecture.
Well, we have one of
and
the only original
you know,
homes in
the-
Avalon, New Jersey, too.
the
It
realtors
was
of the day
1910,
called,
we didn't tear it
called
down.
the houses such as this Wayne dogs. That was the real estate term. So we've done a complete 100%
Right.
different, but in that period, believe me, there were some pretty dastardly by historical architectural review standards things done, so we obviously can't take all the garages as, a symbol.
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, we tried to, I mean, this is the same type of construction that would have been done back then, okay? It's a pole barn, the only delta being, I'm not gonna have a dirt floor. I'm just not, and I know you're not concerned with interior features, so that's irrelevant for this conversation. But it is what would have been built back then, because there were no garages essentially in 1890. They would have been carriage houses or barns.
Yeah, with that, one interesting thing that I found is I went back to a map, Pennsylvania Railroad Atlas, 1897. And at that time, this house would have already been built, plus a couple of others that are two of our cases today, too. It was interesting to see that in one part of Walnut Avenue in North Wayne, where our next two cases are coming up, on that immediate block, 1897, that immediate block with those larger houses, right, and the setbacks, everything else, there was only one stable. One. So I thought, there was only one stable. So I think, as I've seen more and more of this pattern happening, it seems to me that people rented a horse or a carriage, livery stables, which were, the cabs of their day,
Right.
things like that. So I think when we're looking at, again, at this outbuilding, it kind of like fits into that, where, a lot of those buildings just really didn't exist in certain areas of the historic districts as we know them, in my opinion. So, but for this design, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. It's not visible from the street in a major way. It does take some elements from the house with the shingles,
And it will be
which I
painted,
like.
by the way. The board and batten will be painted identically
Okay.
to the house color of the house as it's painted now.
Well, I think that's a very helpful suggestion, because we can't mandate, for example, like color paint. Some harbs do, but we don't in our ordinance, so.
Well, I respect this totally, because that's why I wanted you to know that I'm into old cars and into authenticity. I participate in every old car event in this community and have for the last 22 years that I've lived here. So I'm all about originality. I hate modifications, and I'm with you on this, but this property doesn't have a garage, and I need a garage. And at the end of the day, I'm sorry you don't agree with me. I think it kind of looks nice and looks period. I mean, I wish I could put it back where I think it was, but with current zoning, I can't, because I believe where it was exactly where I have it on this plot plan right here, but slid all the way to the back edge of the property. That's where I'm thinking it used to be. And I can't do that for two reasons. It's too close to the property line, and secondly, I don't have enough impervious coverage to get the driveway to get back there to get at it. So, and
With Terry, do you have any suggestions that you would like to give as far as the
I've
the
made my
style?
views, I think, pretty clear. That, did you get a cost estimate at all on the difference between using shingle siding and
it
wood
would
and
be
batten?
substantial and probably make it so that I couldn't do the project. And, I just appeal to you to give me a shot to make it look like this. Look, at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to look at it. you're not going to see it from the street. You've walked by the place. You're not going to see it from the street. I'm the one that has to live with it. And if I don't like the way it looks, I'm going to do something about it myself.
I move that we recommend a certificate of appropriateness.
Okay. The board recommends as a certificate of appropriateness. Congratulations.
Thank you. So what do I do now? Talk to Mary Ann? Okay. Okay.
Our wonderful township folks, Mary Ann and
Yes.
Angie.
All right. Come by and see it when it's done. I think you'll like it.
I'll bring my own car.
Pardon me?
I'll bring my 68 pounds.
You got an M68 Impala? Nice.
That's the way I ever.
I know, they're fun. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay, next on new business, HARB 2019-07, 223 Walnut Avenue, remove single-story laundry room, powder room from rear of house and replace with single-story family room, laundry room, and half bath.
Good evening. I'm Van Pottinger. I'm the architect for the project.
Welcome.
Thank you. Briefly, what we're proposing to do is there is a at the existing residence at 223 Walnut. There, we have I guess the house was built in the 1889. And what we're proposing to do, there was an addition at one point put on the rear of the house. I'm not sure when it was, but when you look at it, it was not really in keeping with the existing house with this roof slopes and everything else. What we're proposing to do is remove that and add this kitchen expansion, family room, and bathroom. It will be totally behind the existing house. You will not be able to see it from the street. Look at the site plan. Walnut Avenue, this is the house, this is the driveway. This area is where the existing addition is, and that's where we're basically replacing that with a slightly bigger structure. That's probably keeps it the same reference. If you want to look at the photos before we go too far, this is a picture from Walnut Avenue. This is our property, 223. And then if you look straight up the driveway.
That picture over. Your pictures need to be flipped over there. Okay, thanks.
All right. Then if you, this is the driveway that goes up to the back of the property. This is the picture looking straight up the driveway. There is an existing structure at the end, and you can see with the porch and the existing house that there's no visibility of the existing addition, and there will not be any projection into close to the driveway, so you still will not see it when we finish with the new addition. So what we're proposing is this is the, I guess this should be, I'll move it this way. This is the existing kitchen, which this part was the part which was probably a part of the original house. This area back here is the sort of summer kitchen, whatever, which was added at some point, which has a very, very low slope roof, and the interiors and everything don't look like they went with the original house. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add the new addition, which would basically almost align with the edge of the existing house. to be matching the same materials as far as the siding and the shingles. We're also going to do the rafter tails, so it matches the existing roof. We're making the house blend as much as we can to the existing structure.
And you also have those tall hedges there when I was
Both
walking.
sides.
Yeah. It helps, it helps.
This is just some background with that is, you can see this is the addition that we're keeping. This is the one-story addition that we're removing. And they sort of, the siding sort of match, but we're going to be matching up everything to the old house.
Yeah, again, you can't see this from street view. But one of the interesting things is from an 1897 map, atlas of properties on the line of Pennsylvania Railroad from Rosemount to Westchester, there was an extension in the back there. So I'm assuming
I think,
that's still there.
yeah. Well, when you go into you can see the openings, and there is this existing stair that connects the two levels. It's sort of funky, and when you look at the side elevation, has some, windows that are sort of unique to the elevation. I don't know if we have a shot of that. So that, I think that was part of the original, because it looks like with the foundations and just the way things marry up.
And this property is on the street on Walnut where, on that immediate block, there was only one stable, just one.
Well, I understand too that these houses were on the central steam plant, so.
Great, I did come across a map of that, like several months ago, and they had their own steam generation. That's kind of interesting. Just one word of note too. This house was called a medium cottage when it was built by the builder and architect, So it didn't really have a distinct architectural design, but I thought that was interesting
Yeah,
to pull up.
The overall flavor of the house is really nice. On the first floor with the parlor, living room, and then the dining room and the entry. It's for this period too. It's very light. It has a very light feel to it. It's a nice house.
I would like to move that we recommend a certificate of appropriate.
Okay, that's 4 and myself. We recommend a certificate of appropriateness. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, our next case is Harb 2019-08233 Walnut Avenue. Replace shed with one-car garage. Extend front porch across right side of house. Replace stucco with fiber cement siding consistent with the rear addition completed in November 2017. I kind of remember this one.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, too, I'd like to add that this property is non-contributing. According to Radnor Township records, the house was built between 1965 and 1975, but also according to Delaware County property records, the house was built in 1969.
I'm Mark McQuestion, the owner of 233 Walnut Ave. And yes, this is a Phase 2 project for us. We were here back in 17 where we did a rear addition, 2-story addition, kitchen and bedroom upstairs. So here are some existing photos of 233 Walnut Avenue. So if we zoom in here, I know it's tough here on the smaller paper. But you'll see the shed here that we're trying to replace, and to be quite honest, it's dilapidated. I think if I pushed it, it would fall over. So that is what we are trying to replace. You can see it from Walnut Avenue. However, you cannot see it from Radnor Street Road or in the back of the house from Beech Tree. The other part of the project here is just where we are trying to extend the porch over about 12 feet, and we would keep the same roof line. So, the proposed new garage, and I'll just kind of show what we did in the back of the house back in November of 17, where we put a rear addition on here, and we replaced some doors here with windows, and so we matched we replaced the stucco with the James Hardy board fiber cement siding, and so both the shed and and the rest of the house, we want to continue this and match it all together, and I think it has a better visual appeal than the stucco that is really in bad shape. Just on some of the plans here. So the proposed new garage, that will replace the existing shed. The existing shed, for relative purposes, is 8 by 14 feet. And the new garage would be 12 by 20 feet. So we're only expanding the existing structure by 4 feet wide and 6 feet deep. It will also be 4 feet higher. There's a visual here of what the garage would look like, with the exception of a carriage-style garage door, and then you would have the matched hardy board that you saw here. So again, this
Would you have that cupola on top?
we would have the cupola, and we have the cupola on the shed right now as well.
Where is that
Is-
photograph? I mean, where is that a Radnor garage that you just took a picture to show us what yours is going to look like?
Yeah, it's just again, we're looking at a basic structure, but it's, we will have a small cupola on top.
Do you
I
have your
know-
actual design with you? Because
don't-
that will be seen.
Yeah, I don't have the actual design. We figured this is a basic structure where you're taking an 8 by 14 shed and expanding it to 12 by 20.
I think we would need to see the design, because just having that picture alone, I would comment on the cupola.
Okay.
But again, without having the specific design, layout, and what you want to do and where you want to put things, it makes what we do difficult to give you approval.
Okay.
So here's what we'd like to offer you.
Yep.
What we're going to do is we're going to table this
Mm-hmm.
until you can come back to us with an actual design.
Okay.
It won't cost you any more money,
Okay.
and we'll be ready to pass judgment when you come back to us.
Okay. And on the design, I have the site plan, so you're just saying the actual structure, you'd like to see a design
We
structure.
would like to see what
Okay.
what it's going to look like.
Okay.
Because again, I would comment on the
Yeah.
cupola.
Yes, since we're the architectural review board.
Yeah, and just so I know, the recommendation on the cupola would be, or the comments on the,
We had a case like this since I've been on the board. I think it was about 2 years ago. There was a new garage, Center Hall Colonial, contributing. I think it went back to about 1920. New garage, wonderful. But the homeowners wanted to put on a cupola like that on a new garage. My reasoning was this. it's better to have no ornamentation than ornamentation which doesn't serve a purpose or a function. Now, when I think of cupolas like that, okay, I think of like the old-time hotels. They had the cupola on top, so they could see the approaching carriages and they could prepare for the evening. Or if it was a stable, for ventilation, for example. So at least right now, if this was the only thing I had to go on, I would recommend that the cupola be taken off
Okay.
because of the reasons that I have given. So what we will do, Terry, do you second the continuance?
Or you make the motion, I'll second.
Do you,
I agree that it should be tabled.
okay.
I make a motion that application 201908 be tabled until applicant can come back with clear designs of what it's actually going to look like.
Okay.
And we agree that there will be no further application fees to come before us again.
So what we do is offer you a continuance, so you can come back and you don't have to, reapply with another fee.
Okay.
And we look forward to seeing you
And can I
again.
just come with the plans at that date, or do I need to submit them in advance?
You need to submit them in advance.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
It's the same thing all over again,
Yeah.
but you don't have to pay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for presenting.
Thanks.
Okay. Old business, report on the new HARB ordinance.
I don't have a report this month.
Okay. Public participation. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you.